Somewhere in your Google Drive, Chris, there's a document. It's the advice you give every customer or client. You've told yourself it's going to be a lead magnet someday. Once you make it pretty enough.
Yeah, and once you make it pretty is where lead magnets and lots of projects go to die. So, like, I do have those docs, and those docs have been sitting there for what, like 6 months, a year, when it honestly could have been collecting emails the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. And so today we're killing the excuse. No PDF, no design tool, no template hunting. We're not even going to talk about how to use AI to quickly make it look pretty. We're talking a plain, honestly, kind of ugly Google Doc, not throwing shade on your example here. And we're launching it as a lead magnet before the end of this episode.
Yeah, the doc doesn't need the effort. The landing page does. And that's the part that AI can really help you with now. We're going to describe the offer to our landing page builder, watch what it spits out on the first pass, and then show you what we'd keep, what we'd cut, how we'd make it better.
Yeah, and then we'll sign up for it live. If the doc doesn't hit the inbox in a few seconds, you can watch us sweat it out. Live demos are terrifying.
Yeah, and a subscriber trades their email for an answer, not for graphic design. So stick around and steal the whole play.
This is the Shift AI Show presented by Aweber. That's like the one singer that just that little like beat gets stuck in my head for hours afterwards. I think.
Yeah, hey, it works,
I'm easy to please. What can I say? So like, I find this one funny because we've spent so much time talking like on different episodes like AI design tools, right? And so it's like, one approach might be, thanks to AI, you can take that Google Doc and make it a really beautiful PDF really fast. Yeah. Or we've talked about using the Aweber AI Builder to create interactive web apps instead of documents. But the reality is like there's still value contained in these documents and you can move fast and unblock yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the benefit of this is like the example we're using today. This idea actually just came up last week to demo this because we have this mega prompt Google Doc where for every episode, we take the prompts that we use and we put them in that doc. So you and anybody else who's interested in trying it out can try the things that we're demoing for yourself really easily. Yeah. And we were reflecting on the fact that people ask us for links to that doc all the time now, which is awesome. It means that there's value in it. And we're kind of like, oh, that sounds like the perfect way. The way that we tell people to evaluate lead magnets is like, what is the thing that people ask you for all the time? The small piece of your expertise that you normally provide for free just to help people out. What is that thing? Because that thing should be your lead magnet. And in our case, it was this Google Doc with all our prompts in it. And it was, I don't know if you feel this way, Jesse, but all the time, I feel like, man, I can't believe it took me so long to do this,
Well, I think like a lot of kind of entrepreneurial and small business owners who are inherently entrepreneurial, I think like sometimes that ideation, like that's where we get energy and it's like, oh, I've got this great idea and you want to start. And maybe the start is that Google Doc or something like that. And then I know for me where I run out of steam sometimes is like bringing it across the finish line. And it's because a lot of the time it's because of like misperceptions about what's blocking that. It's thinking, oh, I've got to make this look pretty before I do it. Or it's, thankfully we've shown is no longer an issue. It's I'm going to take time to build a page for this. Yeah. So why don't we jump in? You want to get going and show us what we're going to do?
Let's do it. All right. So this is the infamous mega prompt library we've been talking about, this doc, and it has a bunch of our prompts in it. And the prompt that I'm going to be using today is already in the mega prompt library, which Jesse dropped a link into chat. Yep. And you can see that it's really simple. I've actually found that as I've been going, my prompts are getting simpler and simpler. And I try and cut out a lot of cruft unless it's really important to me that there is specific guidance. So in this case, I really want my page content for the lead magnet to be defined by the contents of the lead magnet. So I'm going to make most of the content of this prompt be the lead magnet itself,
Mhm.
but I'll walk you through it really briefly. I'm
Yeah.
telling it what my end result is off the bat. Build a landing page that offers my free guide. Then you can put in the title of your free guide in exchange for an email address. That's the pitch.
Mhm.
For branding, use my logo, and you can either include a link to your logo, or in my case, you're going to see in just a second, you could drop the logo right in there and match the style of, and then input your website.
Mhm.
Then I give a little bit of guidance on the form, apply the tag, whatever the tag name is, to everyone who subscribes for the form. And then I talk about how I'm going to deliver it. And here you could do whatever you like. If you want to have it redirect to your lead magnet, you could do that. But what I'm doing is I'm saying the subscriber will be emailed a link to access the lead magnet that contains a link to this Google Doc. When a
Mhm.
subscriber submits, they should see a success message on the page encouraging them to check their email for the link to the lead magnet. And that I'm doing that on purpose. Like it
Mhm.
might actually be more convenient for the user to just redirect them to the lead magnet, but I want them to go interact with me in their inbox for two reasons. One is I want them to get comfortable interacting with me in their inbox and like know what my from name looks like and everything like that. And the second is I want inbox providers like Gmail and Outlook and those places where people actually manage their mail to start getting positive signals about the mail that I send to people. So if the first email that they get includes a link to the thing that they wanted, they're really likely to open and click on that email, which are all positive signals for the inbox providers.
And think about the converse of that too. If you, redirect to it, but maybe also send it to them, for posterity by email, but they've already gotten access to it through that redirect, they might just go delete or archive your email because they no longer need it because they've already seen the link. And that's actually a negative signal for those
Yes.
mailbox providers that they're just not clicking or engaging with your email.
Yeah.
So you can actually like hurt yourself as well.
Yeah. And it's like such minimal friction and effort for the subscriber that it's like this is
Yeah.
a perfectly acceptable um, part of the transaction of trading your email for access to your expertise.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show you this in the builder itself. I'm using Aweber's landing page builder, which we've started rolling out to beta users yesterday. So more and more folks should have access to it. And if you want access to it, I'm going to give you a link right in the chat. So you can just jump into your Aweber account, or if you don't have one, you can create one for free.
Yeah.
And try it out for yourself. I'd really encourage you to do this. I use it to build basically everything now. It's so helpful and easy. But you can see, the only thing I need to fill in here is the title of this. I've already filled this in. I know this is a little hard to see. Apologies. Let me get this. There we go. I just filled in, here's the title of my thing. I said brand using my use my logo, which is attached. You can see that I just drag and dropped the shift logo here and match the style of aweber.com/shift. Apply the tag mega prompt to everyone who subscribes for the lead magnet. And then I just left the rest of it and I copy pasted the contents of the Google Doc into this. I don't remember why I did that. Maybe I was having trouble getting the builder to recognize it. I can't remember, but either way works. Either way, as long as the builder can interpret it, it doesn't really matter whether you drop a link to the Google Doc or just paste the contents.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kick this off. And while this is building, I'm not going to make you wait for it. I want to show you a previous version of this page that I already built using basically that same prompt or an early version of it. This is the page. It's live right now. Like you can see it right here. I just dropped it in chat. And it's a working page where I can submit. And I haven't set up my workflow yet because I want to show you how easy that is. But this is it.
Yeah.
So it has the sign up form right here. It calls out like some of the things that you're going to learn, which is awesome. I didn't tell it to do this. It just
understanding the
it.
context of it, and because you gave it the content, This is incredible.
Yeah, this section, I did give it a little bit of
Mm,
additional guidance on it because it had included some videos by default, but they weren't the ones I wanted it to include. So
mm,
I gave it all I did was just give it different links to YouTube videos that I wanted it to include instead.
mhm,
And then it like doubles down on the forum at the bottom, gives me another chance to subscribe, and adds a little call to action block about Aweber as the presenting sponsor with a try for free, which I thought was really cool because if you look at the Shift primary landing page, the footer is really similar. That
mm,
was so cool.
mhm.
It gives that
People
same call
actually
to action.
appreciate that.
It's
Yeah.
really, really cool. I was very, very impressed. Um, but let's jump in because I want to show you a couple things here. The big thing that I didn't do with this version of the page is I didn't ask it to apply a tag to the form. So I'm going to just ask here and say like, are any tags applied to subscribers when they sign up? And what tags are, if you're not familiar with email marketing and automation and the way that works, is they're like little labels that get
Mhm,
attached to people when they sign up for your list. And you can use them for all sorts of stuff. You can use them to kick off automated workflows, which is important in this case. And you can also use them for things like segmentation if you want to send grouped emails or even personalization and sending people with specific labels, different content than you send to other people. It's really awesome, really wild stuff. So it says there are no tags currently being applied. So I'm going to want to apply a tag here. And I'm
mhm.
going to say update the forms so they apply the tag mega dash prompt when someone subscribes. This is part of the prompt that I shared today, but wasn't part of my initial prompt here. So I'm going to say also add the, or when someone subscribes, whoops, have them stay on the page and point them to their email inbox to get the link to the lead magnet. This should be a pretty quick change. It's just going to go
Mhm.
look at the forms. It understands the way that Aweber form syntax works, so it knows how to add tags. It's going to do that. And then it's telling me its plan. That looks good. Just go for it. So now it's doing its thing. Anything else you would change about the page?
I think I might, like, ask for, like, some kind of like, I wanna see faces sooner, I think. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, I think, I hope at least what works with this is that this is, like, we're trying to build a community here.
Yeah.
I feel a little, like, this early on. Maybe that's just the
Okay.
designer.
Let's do something kind of wild. So we have pictures of us on the Shift page. So I'm going to
Ooh,
copy the
yeah.
picture of Jesse and I'll just paste that into the builder. Oh, that image is too large. Would you mind getting me like shrunken down versions of those
Yeah,
while I'm
let me send
writing the
this.
prompt? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two pictures and I'm going to say, let's say the Shift is a community where we want a personal connection. Oops. Between ourselves, that's Jesse and Chris, and the audience. Create an image of the two of us based on the attached images to use in the hero. So that is one of my absolute favorite things to do with the builder is create imagery or edit images to really fill in great content.
You should have them in Slack.
Oh, cool. I'm going to grab these now. So I copy that. So there's one there. And now I'm going to paste the other one. And now you can see that these two images of us are attached. And now I'm going to let it rip. Let's see what it does.
Oh my gosh. I'm afraid. I don't know if you remember an early episode. I think were we doing ChatGPT Images 2.0?
Yeah, I do remember this one
Didn't
that
have
you're
it
talking about.
like make us high school track stars.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was incredible.
The coolest part is like we grew up in the 90s, like we're teenagers in the 90s. So I think we even said that like we were
Yeah.
in the 90s, and you could see the photographic style that it
Yeah.
used was like a point and shoot camera with a flash from the 90s. It was
Even
wild.
the way you could tell like the background was darker because those flashes would just like blow out everything in the foreground and
Yes.
darken everything in the background. It was frightening and very impressive. I don't know why I looked like a shot putter in the rendering and you looked like a sprinter, but you know.
I was awful at track. Just an aside that has nothing to do with anything. My main sport was swimming in high school, and I wanted something to do in the spring, so I did track with my friends. But what we would do, we were all distance runners, and we would run so slowly that the rest of the team, including the coach, would pass us because you'd do distance workouts just in the neighborhood. And then we would run to a pizza place that was on the way back. And then we would just wait in there and have a soda or a slice of pizza or whatever until everybody passed us going the other way. And then we would just follow them back, having run like 500 yards or something like that. That was my running history.
Well, hey, you get out of it what you put into it, right?
Yeah, which was very little. But so this is going back.
So is this the run from earlier?
Yes. Yeah. And you can see it's very different from the previous one, which is actually kind of cool. Every prompt from the show, one doc. That's pretty neat. Here's my email sign up.
It's interesting. It chose to position it a bit more of like, if you know the show, get the doc.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was like, this
just the benefit
prompts. Yeah, exactly. All the outcomes that you can produce.
Yeah. That is pretty cool. So this one's a lot smaller too, which is interesting. Like it doesn't have a video section. It has a much slimmer footer.
Which it definitely like intuited from the Shift page. It's still like referencing that stuff, but it's chosen to be much more succinct.
Yeah. And that's one of the risks of not giving a more detailed prompt. But honestly, like if I didn't have, and if I didn't have the other page to compare it to, I would be pretty stoked about this. Oh man, I just looked at the image from the other one. You ready?
Do we want to know? Oh no, what happened? Well, actually, you know what? I like the new me. I'm sticking with it. I'm assuming that's me in the hat and the hoodie because that's what I was wearing.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm going with it. That's my new picture. That's what I look like now, guys.
All right. So well we're gonna we could definitely edit this. So
okay.
I'm going to kick off and edit though, because I want to see how much better it can get at this. And then I want to show you the last part of this, which is setting up an automation, which I'm going to show you how to do in Aweber, but you could do it if you're using a different tool for sending email, you can do it the same way. I'm just going to show you how to do a tag-based email automation based on this. But I'm going to see if I can get this working. I'm going to just have it focused. Edit this image to change the person on the right to the person attached in the image.
And this is where, like, I think how explicit you are. Yeah, do not change the physical details of the person. I'll usually say like use their exact face, you know, or something like that. I think it's just one of those like, you know, call out lessons for interacting conversationally with AI is like, you may think you're being explicit. But it'll let you know by making mistakes, like completely reinterpreting what you look like. And it's funny too, because some of the early like image modeling, that happened a lot. Like, you know, you couldn't get it to maintain like features and stuff like that. The tools are so much better at it now. I'm actually kind of surprised that it didn't just get that right out of the box.
Yeah. You know what? This is actually a good time to talk about the specific tools that builders use frequently. And there's like the concept of creating a new image versus editing an existing image. And when you're creating a new image, you can actually even see
Like,
It
it's
describes it.
editing now, so is it using a different tool than it was when it
Yes,
made
but
this
here's what's
composite?
tricky about the whole project is when you're like trying to mash up images,
Mm,
oftentimes what it will do, what tool image editing tools will do is they will seek to describe the images and then create a new image from them. Or in this case, it's editing it, but it's not actually saying like it did not. But it's not actually like pasting the image into it. It's looked at the reference image. It is attempting to give a really detailed description of it to the edit tool. So I think like what I might want to do is I'm just trying to think about the way that I would approach this. I don't want to get too on a rabbit trail here, but what I might actually do is have the initial image created in ChatGPT to make
mm,
sure that we ourselves are in the image, and then any edits to the image,
mhm,
like changing backgrounds or
yeah,
placement or something like that, I might do in the page editor itself. This was an
yeah.
interesting one.
But keep me as is because whatever it told it, however it described me, this is what I want from now on.
Okay, cool. Let me show you the last piece of this. Whoops, I closed the tab. That's not what I meant to do. Let me open it up again. Shoop. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to show you how to actually deliver the email. So I'm going to create a new workflow, and in Aweber, I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to call it Mega Prompt Lead Magnet Delivery. And then this automation is a pretty simple conceptually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start this on a tag. Whoops. And the tag that I used was mega dash prompt. And if I don't remember what it was, I can always ask the landing page builder now, what tag am I using? And then I'll hit done. And now I'm just going to create a message. And I'm not going to go through the process of like building out a message right now, but the important thing is you just want to make it clear what they're getting. Here's your mega prompt library. Mega, all caps, prompt library. And then in the body of the email, I would include a link to it. I would definitely make this much more well designed, I'm sure, but that's the whole gist of it now. So anybody who signs up and gets that tag, which I just realized I didn't save, they'll now get this email once I publish it. I'm not going to publish it yet because I don't want this email going out, but that's the whole gist from end to
Mhm.
end in under a half an hour, and way less time than a half an hour. Like
I was
most
gonna
of our time
say
is just talking.
most of it's us just entertaining ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I mean, and again, the takeaway here is like the document doesn't like. I'm trying to figure out how to say this the right way. It's like your landing page should look quality, right? It needs to uphold like the perception of whether or not what you're offering is valuable. If your landing page looks bonkers, they may not think that the value that you're offering is going to be truly
Yeah.
valuable.
Yep.
So the fact that the builder handles that for you so quickly and makes a professional, high fidelity looking landing page, that's more important than the asset looking that gorgeous. The asset contains value. What's contained in it is valuable. People are far less concerned whether or not it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're investing the time, and it's really not time because of the builder up front in how you're promoting and positioning it, and then just a simple workflow to deliver that value, like that's sometimes simple works better. Absolutely, Erica.
Yeah.
So I want that to drive home. Like you've got these assets there, and I know we hear a lot on the Aweber side with customers like, well, I'm in this industry. Like what lead magnet can I offer? Like every industry has value that you could offer. You may not have that Google Doc sitting in Google Drive right now, but you could create a one page of like 10 tips for this based on your, service and deliver it that way. I don't want to see people get blocked on thinking that they don't have that value to offer, that it's not in a state that's ready to offer.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Like if you have the idea or if you have the expertise, the thing that we started with is like if you don't have a lead magnet, ask yourself what is the question that you answer most for people, and then write a Google Doc with the answer. Now you have a lead magnet. If you already do and you're not happy with the way that it looks, too bad. Get over it. Make a page and put it out there. You can always make it better.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, if you're sitting there feeling stumped, go to ChatGPT, go to Claude, go to Gemini, whatever your favorite tool is. Say, hey, I am a executive coach. I'm an executive coach that offers these service, whoever you are. Describe you and your industry and your business and your services and offerings. What are 3 good lead magnet ideas that I can offer to encourage email signups? And just brainstorm with it. Go back and forth until you feel confident that you have the right idea. Anything else you want to add here, Chris?
No, I don't want to make this more complicated than it is. It's really straightforward. Just do it.
Yeah. We could talk about it for another 20 minutes and scare you into thinking that it's not that easy. So I have like a bad news, but good news situation here. Chris, you're not going to be with us for the next 3 episodes, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to be away. I'll miss you all greatly.
A little bit of surfing, I hope.
Yep, that's the goal.
At least some sun and sand. Chris is going to get a well-deserved break for a little while here. Next week, Alicia is going to be joining me. So better, fortunately, unfortunately, maybe depending on your perspective, I'll still be here for the next 3 episodes. Sorry.
And Alicia always has great demos.
Yeah, Alicia's awesome. I can't wait for those. I will be back Friday with a brand new episode. As always, we're still running every Tuesday and Friday at noon Eastern time. Please visit aweber.com/shift and sign up for the newsletter there. Send us your questions and just generally like I want to like push the newsletter because Chris and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, and Scott's honor, we commit to sending more consistently, right? Like we both admit that we're maybe not doing enough with the newsletter list, but what we're trying to do here is build community where people can come and find answers and solutions and practical to run their businesses more efficiently through like the right use of AI. And hopefully we can learn what the wrong uses are for you, so you don't have to go through those pain points as we've done with some of these demos. But join that newsletter list at aweber.com/shift, because that's going to really be the living, breathing piece of the community outside of these episodes where we can each other. So please check that out. Come back Friday at noon. We'll be here. Everybody has a great start to their week. Thanks, everybody.